Alright, bit of a break from Gundam this week, although next week we'll probably be back to it. I watched Bungo Stray Dogs. I caught up to it, at least as of recording this. The most recent episode of Season 5 probably drops the day I'm recording this, if I'm remembering correctly, but either way, yeah. Bungo Stray Dogs. Don't worry, I won't talk about Season 5, because, well, it's not finished. What are my thoughts on it overall? Just to save you time if that's all you care about. Well, if I've done with the thumbnail what I think I've done, that's somewhat true. It is a little bit unrememberable. At least early Season 1 is, okay? Early Season 1 is a bit dull, and not a whole lot of interesting shit happens, if I'm being honest. Toward the later part of Season 1, it actually gets pretty interesting, especially, you know, Gyoka's introduced, we get to see Atsushi develop a little bit. That's where it gets interesting. But early Season 1, I couldn't tell you what happened, like, at all. Like, they do detective shit, and that's about it. It's, like, very kind of, like, episodic at the beginning. It definitely feels that way. But again, that's kind of like all manga early on, is they tend to be very isolated incidents that happen in very early manga because of just the way it is with manga production. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Bungo Stray Dogs and my thoughts on it. But overall, I'd say Bungo Stray Dogs is pretty decent. It's actually pretty good overall. I just felt like being an arsehole and trying to clickbait people into watching the video with the thumbnail. I haven't made it yet as of recording this, but given that I've now talked about it, I will have to do what I said I was going to do to myself, which will be being cringe and unfunny. Anyway, let's carry on talking about it, shall we? So the characters overall, Dazai is by far my favorite, which I don't think goes as a surprise to probably anyone ever. I even tweeted out about this when I was pretty early into watching. I think I was watching Season 2 at the time that I made that tweet. You can go find it linked to my Twitter in the description. You probably don't bother though. Not worth your time. Yeah, Dazai is very interesting. He's a very, I'd say, deep character. But to be fair, we don't really know a whole lot about him. We know he's part of Port Mafia in the past. We know that he's really fucked up. He's quite unhinged. But he's also really lazy. But that's probably an act. It's almost certainly an act. And, well, he says it himself, I believe, in a flashback. If you want your subordinates to get better, you just be the lazy fuck to make them have to do more work so they get better at doing the work. Or something along those lines. So he's a very calculating character. Do very much like Dazai. Also, his ability, Ningen Shikaku, no longer human, is sick. So, yeah. All around, good stuff. Atsushi. I'm not the biggest fan of Atsushi. The main character. Jinko, Were-Tiger. Beast Beneath the Moonlight. I don't know the Japanese name for Beast Beneath the Moonlight. It's long. He's just... especially early on, he's growing on me a little bit more now as we're getting in, and he's started, you know, he's kind of gone past pitting himself all the fucking time, thanks to Akutagawa. But, you know, he's past all of that, so he's now a bit more interesting. But early on, I didn't really like Atsushi, and right now I'm a bit indifferent on him. Yeah, all around, he's alright. Also, this man, because of his fucking ability, is just allowed to survive clearly fatal injuries all the time, which is fun. Yeah, good stuff. I swear that the only people we've seen die, well, relevant characters that we've seen die, are in flashbacks. Someone will correct me on that, probably, because I'm probably wrong, but hey, let's carry on. Akutagawa, I actually quite like Akutagawa. He's an angsty fucker. Rashomon is really cool. Like, it just looks sick. Like, are you kidding me? It's really fucking cool. Akutagawa's obsession with Dazai is also interesting because Dazai saved him, in a way, as we have been kind of finding out. Early on, we don't really know why he's obsessed with Dazai and getting Dazai's recognition and acceptance, but we have kind of an idea now. Obviously, Dazai's plans are for Akutagawa and Atsushi to be a team stronger than him and Chuya. You know, the double black. I don't really see how those two working together will be. I mean, I do get it because, you know, Beast Beneath the Moonlight's claws can cut through abilities and shit, as it's been said. So using Akutagawa's Rashomon to increase the range of the claws, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense because it's Rashomon. Even if it's wrapped around Atsushi, it is still Rashomon that's cutting shit. So, whatever. Yeah, Akutagawa, he's cool. I think he's cool, but that's because I'm an edgy boy. So, you know. God. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I like red and black. Fuck. Other characters that I feel like talking about right now. Oh, Rampo, yeah. Edgar Rampo, the guy that doesn't have an ability. You know, he's just really fucking clever. He's just really talented. He's just really smart. He's interesting. He is almost a Mary Stew, or a Gary Stew, sorry, because he is male. But he does fuck up, so he's not actually a Gary Stew. He can do wrong. He's not perfect. He's also kind of lazy. If he doesn't want to do something, he won't. He likes his snacks. I also like snacks. Relatable. He's a fun character. His ability, his like presence is a bit OP. I do really like how he was handled in season 4 and 5 so far, at least. Especially season 4, really interesting. Really liked it. How he's just fucking gone and then just reappears at the start of season 5. It's really sick. I did say I wasn't going to talk about season 5, but spoilers. Oh well. If you're clicking on a video like this, you probably expected something like that. Yeah, Rampo, he's cool. What next? Who else should we talk about? I don't know. I guess, character-wise, we'll leave it at that. The plot is something that we will talk about. So like I said, early season 1 doesn't really have much of a coherent story. It's more episodic stuff to introduce characters and their abilities and such. And, I mean, yeah, cool, I get it. It's alright, but it's not really interesting and engaging. It does get engaging, as again, as I said, we get into... As I said, fucking brilliant English self. As we get into, you know, later season 1, and there's a more... connected story that starts to build up, and we get introduced to Kyoka and more information on Port Mafia. That's when season 1 actually gets really good, and I really enjoy it. And season 2 starts off with a flashback, which I was like, oh, what the fuck, did I miss an episode or something? But no, it just starts with a flashback, and we find out about Dazai's past, or at least a little bit of it, you know, to the stray dogs of Dazai, his friend that dies in the flashback, and fuck, Sakaguchi, I think his name is, the guy that works for the, like, police, effectively. They're not the police, but you know what I mean. I can't remember the actual name of the unit that he's a part of. But you know who I'm on about. Ango! Sakaguchi Ango. Yeah, that is his name. Yeah. You get the flashback surrounding them, and, you know, what convinces Dazai to leave Port Mafia and strive for a different kind of life instead of, you know, well, you know, you've seen it probably if you're watching this. But that's really nice. I really like that flashback arc. It gives a nice bit of background and understanding to Dazai's character, which is really enjoyable. As for the rest of Season 2, what even happened in Season 2? It's been a little bit since I watched it. I did binge it all over the span of like a week and a half. Don't judge me, alright? Shut up, okay? I do other things. I don't just watch anime. I swear. I have a job. You know, I just, on days off, you know, if I don't want to think, I'll just sit down and watch anime, alright? Leave me alone! But yeah. What happened in Season 2? Oh, yeah, that's, shit, the Guild. Yeah, with, the Great Gatsby guy. What's his name? Francis. Yeah, it's that stuff. Yeah, okay, I remember. Yeah. That's actually pretty cool. Bungo Stray Dogs is unrememberable? I'm so sorry. Yeah, the season 2 is pretty interesting. I like it, mostly. It has a good setup as well to, you know, introducing the book that is now a lot more relevant. Season 3 is when we're first introduced to Fyodor, who's obviously very relevant now. That's interesting because we get to see Rampo actually like properly fuck up here, with him not, in the case of, well, I say fuck up, but you know, make a mistake because Fyodor understands Rampo's abilities or whatever. I believe that's how it's explained. And yeah, that's interesting, and obviously we get the whole setting up the stage for season 4 to, you know, establish the Budo Tantesha, the armed detective agency, up as being the villains, air quotes, through the use of the page. So season 3 is actually very important. As we get further into Bungo Stray Dogs, I actually like it more. The story gets more interconnected. Each season is more relevant. It's not like isolated within a season. I do really, really like that. The story is just running and it's just continuing on. It's brilliant instead of it being like, okay, this arc's over. Nothing that happened in this arc will be relevant again. Moving on. You know, like a lot of anime and manga kind of do. But yeah, really good stuff. Really enjoyed Season 3 and Season 4. very interesting. We find out more character backgrounds, again, backstories like Yasuno Sensei, the doctor, the healer. We find out what her deal is. Doesn't really, I mean, it kind of explains why she's so fucked up, but also why is she so obsessed with, why does she seem, you know, like she enjoys cutting people up? Anyway, that's that. We also get more background on Port Mafia, again, specifically with its leader. I've also forgot to mention, you know, the leader of the Tantasia and his background and his connection to Mori Sensei, you know, the leader of Port Mafia. Fukugawa, I believe. Fuck. Yeah, it's Fukugawa, right? Because Fukuchi is the leader of the hunting dogs, and Fukugawa is the leader of the Tantasia, if I'm remembering those names the right way around. But yeah, Bungo Stray overall, we'll leave it here. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. If you, for some reason, watched this without having watched it and have been spoiled on a bunch of stuff, still go check it out, because it's actually I do actually think it's worth your time. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, sub, you know, usual YouTube stuff. And with that out of the way, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I hope to see you all next time for another video. Ta-ta for now.